Lawrence Lessig, then it's Jan Devereaux.
Thank you. My name is Lawrence Lessig, and I work in Cambridge, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to address a question raised by the agenda today. At the February 20th council meeting, you considered a proposal for a study into the benefits of public funding of elections in Cambridge. That idea was met with skepticism. As one member said, quote, "I fail to understand what problem this was going to solve that we have here in Cambridge." The issue before this council today, the Normandy Twining proposal, is a perfect response to that failure to understand. As this council knows, the Normandy Twining proposal comes at the end of a long deliberative process, cut short. Almost 3 years ago, Cambridge launched a 2-year planning study for Central Square, the C2 study. That study is the ordinary process that any rational planning initiative would require. As other towns and cities have, the purpose of the C2 study was to frame the requirements of the development process in a balanced and forward-looking way to represent the interests of all the citizens and residents of Cambridge, rich, poor, and middle class alike. The next logical step was to translate this study into a comprehensive zoning and implementation scheme. Now, it's undisputed that Cambridge has now sidelined that ordinary policy review. In its place, the council is considering ad hoc zoning decisions affecting the interests of incredibly wealthy investors and real estate developers. That shift from a deliberate to an ad hoc planning process seems unwise at best, but on its own, it doesn't raise any issue of corruption. What does raise a critical issue of corruption is the tight correlation between these changes in Cambridge's planning process and significant contributions to members of this council and the mayor. According to the research I have seen, close to 75% of the mayor's largest contributors came from employees of real estate companies doing business in Cambridge. 77% of the council has received contributions from parties interested in securing deviation from the ordinary planning process in a pattern of giving that, as I've posted now on my blog, tracks the evolution of this project directly. I'm not saying there's anything illegal in what those numbers showing. I'm not even saying there's anything unethical. But what I am saying is that when politicians express surprise at the deep cynicism that most Americans have about their government at all levels, facts like this help explain that cynicism. Members of this council are human. Humans respond to favors favorably. If you didn't, you wouldn't be brave or strong, you'd be a sociopath. Every normal human would be affected by the size and concentration of these contributions. So when the council is puzzled that the way campaigns are funded in Cambridge might matter to the citizens of Cambridge, you should think back to this. No one would think that the issue was unaffected in this case. No one reasonably should, and that may be a reason to consider a different way to fund elections. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lawrence. If you'd like to leave your, Lawrence. May I have, I'm going to just, if I may, I'm going to ask that the audience please not do that. It's very, very important that we try to get through this hearing with as much courtesy and respect as possible. And so I'm going to ask that you refrain from clapping after someone speaks. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, point of order. I'm not sure that clapping is a negative. It is a point of order.